Okay, let's move on to the lesson, Adventures in a Banyan Tree. At the bottom of the page is there a short account about Ruskin Bond. He was born in India. Still lives in India. That is his greatness, right? A wonderful man, a wonderful writer of wonderful writing. A wonderful writer of wonderful writing. This is what I have to tell about you. This is what I have to tell about him. This is what I have to tell about him. And I shall read it for you. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. His father was an officer at the Royal Air Force. He wrote his first novel, The Room of the Roof, at the age of 17. It got a John Llewellyn Rice Prize in 1957. His first children's book was The Angry River. In 1992, he received the Sahitya Akademi Award for his short story collection, Our Trees Still Grow in Daya. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 for his contributions to children's literature. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017. He now lives with his adopted family in Lando, near Missouri. Okay? Now, let me begin the text. I shall read the first paragraph for you. Before reading the first paragraph, I would like to introduce the protagonist in the story. The protagonist in the story, that is, protagonist means, protagonist, that is the main character. Protagonist is main character. The main character in the story is a small boy, a boy in his teens, who sets up a platform in the banyan tree and sits there reading a lot of his favorite novels, right? So the protagonist, the important character in the story is a small boy in his teens. Through the house and the grounds of our home in India were grandfather's domain. The magnificent old banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather at the age of 65 could no longer climb it. It is climb. There are certain words in English ending with B, but that B doesn't sound. So you have to pronounce that word as climb. Grandmother used to tease him about this and would speak of a certain Countess of Desmond, an English woman who lived to the age of 117 and would have lived longer if she hadn't fallen while climbing an apple tree. The spreading branches of the banyan tree, which curved the ground and took root again, forming a maze of arches, gave me endless pleasure. The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as the town of Dara, nestling in a valley at the foot of the Himalayas. A lot of things you have to study in the first paragraph itself, much grammar is there. And I will, while teaching the text, I will be going through some bits of grammar also, because we cannot do without grammar. Grammar is very important from the examination point of view. There will be a lot of questions based on grammar. And being so, I shall be discussing certain grammar points also along with the text, Though the house and the grounds of our home in India were grandfather's domain. What is domain? Domain means kingdom, domain. What are the things that belong to the grandfather? What are the things that belong to the grandfather? He says that grandfather has only grounds and the house, The house and the grounds of that house belong to the grandfather. Whereas he has something of his own. Nobody can partake of it. Nobody can share it. What is it? It is nothing but the magnificent old banyan tree was mine. What was his personal thing? What was his personal thing? The personal thing of him is the banyan tree. That belongs to him. No, his grandfather has no share in it. What is the reason why he says that? Grandfather has no share in it because grandfather at the age of 65 is not able to climb up the tree, and whereas the boy is able to climb up the tree, and so this tree belongs to him. Grandfather at the age of 65. What is the age of grandfather? How old is grandfather? What is the age of grandfather? How old is grandfather? 65. Could no longer climb it. He was not able to climb up the tree. He was not able to climb up the tree. Now I believe that, I think that you have understood the first paragraph and the first sentence. Now the second sentence, grandfather used to teasing about this, used to. That is something you have to study, Used to, a phrase that you have to study. What is the meaning of used to? Used to is used to express an action of a person in the past, That past action has stopped now. He didn't continue that action. An action of the past. Understand? An action of the, when we refer to an action, a habitual action of the past. What do you have to use? It is nothing but used to. What is the pronunciation of that phrase? It is not used to. This is wrong. The correct pronunciation of that phrase is used to. Understand? Never forget it. Never forget it. You must always keep up that phrase in your mind. It is nothing but used to. Used to. Used to. You must speak out this word many times, You must repeat this word many times. Then only it is possible for you to keep up this phrase in your mind. Okay? And what did his grandmother do? What did his grandmother do? She used to tease him. What is tease? Poke fun at. Poke fun at. Tease. Laugh at. കളിയാക്കുമായിരുന്നു. അതാണ് ടീസിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം. എന്താണ്? കളിയാക്കുക. പോക്ക് ഫണറ്റ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലാഫറ്റ്. രണ്ട് ഫ്രൈസസ് ഇവിടെ കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത് ടീസാണ്. പകരം ഞാൻ രണ്ട് ഫ്രൈസസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നു. പോക്ക് ഫൺ ഓഫ്, പോക്ക് ലാഫറ്റ്. പോക്ക് ഫണറ്റ് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം, പോക്ക് ഫൺ ഓഫ് ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. പോക്കറ്റ്, പോക്ക് POK ആണ് കേട്ടോ, അല്ല POCK അല്ല, POK, പോക്ക് ഫണറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയും. And would speak of a certain countess of Desmond. ഇംഗ്ലണ്ടിലെ ഡെസ്മോണ്ടിൽ ഒരു കൗണ്ടസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമായിരുന്നു. ഒരു കൗണ്ടസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ കൗണ്ടിൻ്റെ ഭാര്യയ്ക്കാണ് കൗണ്ടസ് എന്ന് പറയാം, അറിയാലോ. ഡെസ്മോണ്ട് എന്ന പ്രവിശ്യയിലെ ഒരു കൗണ്ടസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമായിരുന്നു. എന്താണ്? ആൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്മാൻ who lived up to the age of 117. How long she lived? A mature age of 117, right? She lived to that age means അത്രയും നാൾ അവർ ജീവിച്ചു. And would have lived longer. വീണ്ടും ജീവിക്കുമായിരുന്നു if she hadn't fallen while climbing an apple tree. And that age, when she was 117, when she was 117, she climbed up the tree and as luck wouldn't have it, she fell down and died on the spot itself. If she hadn't died, she would have lived longer. She would have climbed the tree. And saying so, grandmother teases grandfather. എങ്ങനെയാ മനസ്സിലായല്ലോ അതിൻ്റെ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ? ഓക്കെ. The spreading branches of the banyan tree, which curved to the ground and took root again, forming a maze of arches, gave me endless pleasure. He got a lot of pleasure in the boy sitting in the banyan tree, as I have told you earlier, he has set up a platform in the banyan tree, and there he sits, watching nature around, reading books, and this is what he does, right? And what is spoken about the tree, the spreading branches of the banyan tree, which curved to the ground. You are familiar with this tree, and the branches would come down onto the ground, again take root. This is what we have seen, right? That is the great speciality, greatness of that tree, അതേപോലെ തന്നെ curved to the ground and took root. The phrase took root. Took root means വേര് പിടിച്ചു എന്നാണ്, മനസ്സിലായല്ലോ. വേര് പിടിച്ചു. Forming a maze of marches. A lot of marches are there. A lot of arches are there. A maze of arches means a lot of arches were formed in the banyan tree. Gave me endless pleasure. All these things gave him a lot of pleasure. The tree was older than the house. There is a comparison there, You have studied three forms of adjectives and adverbs, you have studied. What is it? Adjectives and adverbs have three forms in English. Adjectives, positive adjective, comparative, superlative. Example, You have studied about all these words, big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, brighter, brighter, brightest, in this way. In like manner, here there is a comparison between two things, And that is the reason why ER is, with older, is used the ER. What is the meaning of ER there? It is more, You may be thinking that ER is something different. No, it is not something different. Actually, it is more. With words with one syllable. With words with one syllable, you have to use ER. No need of using more old. Understand what I say? And with such comparative adjectives, we have to use than. The comparative word in English, than. Understand? The comparative word in English is than. Than the house, older than grandfather, as old as the town of Dara. Dara means Dehradun, the district of Dehradun. Understand? You are familiar with this word, Dehradun. There is something special about that place. Have you heard of it? Something special. What is special about that? This is where IAS trainees are given training. Understand? There is a place, Missouri. Oh, how nice it is to be there. How beautiful a place. The scenery is something extraordinary. This is where IAS trainees are given training. And some of you may have such intention in your life, such aims in your life, and work hard, you can achieve it, If you work hard, no doubt. Okay, my dear students, if you have the mind, if you have the ambition, if you have, that is very important, if you have the ambition, you can achieve it, What is needed is hard work. Are you ready to take up hard work in your life, Then no doubt, success is yours. This has been proved everywhere. And anywhere, everywhere, around the world, this is what we see. This is what we see. And the tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as the town of Dara, nestling in the valley, at the foot of the Himalayas. A little bit of grammar is also there. I would like your attention to that piece of grammar. What is it? At the foot of Adivarathil. അതിൽ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഉപയോഗിക്കേണ്ട ഫ്രൈസ് എന്നറിയാമോ? ഗഡിയമാണ്, അത് റെഡിയമാണ്. അതെന്താണെന്നറിയാമോ? അറ്റ് ദ ഫുട്ട് ഓഫ്. ഇൻ ദ ഫുട്ട് ഓഫ് അല്ല, അപ്പ് ദ ഫുട്ട് ഓഫ് അല്ല, അറ്റ് ദ ഫുട്ട് ഓഫ്. മനസ്സിലായോ? അറ്റ് ദ ഫുട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ ഹിമാലയാസ്. ഹിമാലയാസിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാലോ, ഹിമാലയാസ് എ റേഞ്ച് ഓഫ് മൗണ്ടൻസ്, റേഞ്ചസ് ഓഫ് മൗണ്ടൻസ്. സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾവേസ് പ്ലൂറൽ. The word Himalayas is always plural. And so you have to use a plural verb after that. You have to use a plural verb after that. And one thing you have to study about this word is this, right? Whenever you heard the word, whenever you hear the word Himalayas, as sentences, you must always hear the also along with it. Why? Because Himalayas are mountain ranges, and being so, you have to use the word the before Himalayas, the Himalayas. I shall give you some more examples, The Himalayas lie to the north of India. The Himalayas lie to the north of India. Right? This is how we understand. And coming on to the next paragraph, my best friend and familiar was a small grey squirrel. Arching his back and sniffing in the air, he seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy. But when he found that I did not arm myself with a catapult or air gun, he became friendlier. And when I started leaving him piece of cake and biscuits, he grew bolder and finally became familiar enough to take food from my hands. The second paragraph is something very beautiful, right? The second paragraph. In the beginning, he was not friendly with a little animal that was also in the tree. What is that animal? It is nothing but a small squirrel. Here he says, my friend, best first friend and familiar friend. My familiar friend and best friend. Familiar, പരിചിതനായ, കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലോ? ഫെമിലിയർ, അതിൻ്റെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റ് അൺഫെമിലിയർ. പരിചിതനായ എന്ന അർത്ഥത്തിലാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫെമിലിയർ പറയുക. ഉദാഹരണത്തിന് ഒരാളെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് പരിചയമുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എങ്ങനെ പറയുക? ഹി ഈസ് ഫെമിലിയർ ടു മീ. ഫ്രണ്ട് അല്ല കേട്ടോ, ഫെമിലിയർ, പരിചിതനായ ആൾ. ഫ്രണ്ട് വേറെ, ഫെമിലിയർ പേഴ്സൺ വേറെയാണ്. മനസ്സിലായില്ല? ഫെമിലിയർ ആയ ശേഷമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫ്രണ്ട് ആവുക. Understand? My first friend and familiar was a small grey squirrel. എന്താണ്? Who was his friend? Who was his familiar thing? Who was his familiar animal? A grey squirrel. Here the word squirrel is there. And 3 words are used to describe that word. Which are they? Grey, small, a. Understand? The noun is squirrel. The describing words are grey, small, a. Here, 3 words are used to describe the animal. Which are they? A, an article. Small, adjective. Grey, another adjective. 2 adjectives and an article are used there to describe the word squirrel. This is how you have to study. In your question papers, such questions are liable to be there. So such things you have to study with full concentration. Understand? When I teach, if any use to be there, when I teach, if there is to be any use, what you have to do is to concentrate fully on my words. There is no other way around. It is not an easy task. There is no presence of me before, I am in a room. I am in TRIADS, I am in TRIADS. And I am standing in front of the camera, the camera. And now I am speaking. I don't know where you are now. I think that you are at home, So what you have to do is concentrate more on my words and the text, Arching his back and sniffing into the air. Arching, bending. Arching means bending. His back means mudugu. There are some other meanings also. They are for this word back, Prishtabhagathinu nammal back ennu parayum. Prishtabhagam. പിന്നെ നമ്മുടെ മുതുകിനെ നമ്മൾ ബാക്ക് എന്ന് പറയും. ഇവിടെ ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന മുതുകെന്നാണ്. ആൻഡ് സ്നിഫിങ് ഇൻ ടു ദ എയർ ആൻഡ് ബ്രീതിങ് ഇൻ, ബ്രീതിങ് ഇൻ ആൻഡ് ബ്രീതിങ് ഔട്ട്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ബ്രീതിങ് ഇൻ ടു ദ എയർ. ഹി സീംഡ് അറ്റ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ടു റിസെന്റ് മൈ ഇൻവേഷൻ ഓഫ് ഹിസ് പ്രൈവസി. അറ്റ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഹി വാസ് നോട്ട് ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി വിത്ത് ഹിം, അറ്റ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ദ അനിമൽ വാസ് നോട്ട് ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി വിത്ത് ഹിം. ദ അനിമൽ കൺസിഡേർഡ് ഹിം ടു ബി ആൻ enemy. Why? Because he interfered into his privacy, That tree, the branches of the tree are his private things, And the boy came there to interfere, to intrude. That is the reason why in the beginning the animal did not make friends with him. But when he found that I did not arm myself with a catapult or air gun, I did not arm myself with a catapult. എന്താണ് catapult എന്നറിയാമോ? തെറ്റാടി. നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന, പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ആൺകുട്ടികളെല്ലാം വളരെ കൗതുകത്തോടുകൂടി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സാധനമാണ് തെറ്റാടി. മാവിൻ്റെ മേളിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന മാങ്ങ എറിഞ്ഞിടുന്നതിന് വേണ്ടി നിങ്ങൾ തെറ്റാടി ഉപയോഗിക്കും. മനുഷ്യൻ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ച ആദ്യ ഉപകരണങ്ങളിൽ ഒന്നാണ് കറ്റപ്പൾട്ടെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. മനുഷ്യൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ആദ്യത്തെ ഉപകരണം എന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാമോ? മനുഷ്യനെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ആദ്യത്തെ ഉപകരണം, തൻ്റെ പ്രൊട്ടക്ഷന് വേണ്ടി മനുഷ്യനുണ്ടാക്കിയ ആദ്യത്തെ ഉപകരണം സ്റ്റോണാണ്. മനസ്സിലായില്ല? കല്ലുകൊണ്ടാണ് അവൻ ആയുധം ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. കാലം ഏറെ കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ, നൂറ്റാണ്ടുകൾ കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ, മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ അറിവ് വർദ്ധിച്ചപ്പോൾ, ഓരോ അറിവും മനുഷ്യനെ പ്രബലപ്പെടാൻ എത്രയോ നൂറ്റാണ്ടുകൾ എടുത്തുനിന്ന് കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾക്കറിയാമോ? അല്ലാതെ 1-2 ദിവസം കൊണ്ടല്ല അറിവുകൾ മനുഷ്യനിൽ ബലപ്പെടുന്നത്. നൂറ്റാണ്ടുകൾ. ആദ്യം കല്ലുപയോഗിച്ച്, പിന്നെ കാലം ഏറെ കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അവൻ തെറ്റാടി ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ ഉപയോഗിച്ചു. ആ തെറ്റാടിയുടെ പേരാണ് catapult. Understand? The pronunciation of that word is catapult, or air gun. അവൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ എയർ ഗൺ ഇല്ല എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയപ്പോൾ the animal became friendly. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു പാസേജ് തന്നിട്ട് നിങ്ങളോട് ചില 4 ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ചോദിക്കും. നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാമല്ലോ, നിങ്ങളുടെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പേപ്പറിൽ ഒരു പാസേജ് തന്നിട്ട് 4 ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ചോദിക്കും. യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു ആൻസർ. 4 5 ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ട്. യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു ആൻസർ ഓൾ ദീസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. ഈച്ച് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ക്യാരീസ് 1 mark, right? Any student who is a little conscious about all this, aware of all these things, is possible to answer such questions in a very nice way. That is the reason why I ask you to study the text many times, അവിടെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കാം. എന്താണ്? In the beginning, the squirrel did not make friends with the boy. Why? Another question. A little later, the animal made friends with the boy. Why? ഇത് രണ്ടിനോട് ആൻസർ ഉണ്ട്. You can find out the answer there, അതായത് തൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ കറ്റപ്പൾട്ടില്ല എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയപ്പോൾ, എയർ ഗണ്ണില്ല എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കിയപ്പോൾ അവൻ ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി ആയി. ആൻഡ് വെൻ ഐ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ലീവിങ് ഹിം പീസസ് ഓഫ് കേക്ക് ആൻഡ് ബിസ്ക്കറ്റ്സ്, ആ വാക്ക് ഉച്ചരിക്കുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെ മനസ്സിലായല്ലോ? Do you know? You may be pronouncing this word as biscuit, actually it is wrong. The correct sounding of that word is nothing but biscuit, Perhaps you are not familiar with such a sounding, but even then you have to understand that the correct pronunciation, that is biscuits, not biscuit. Pieces of biscuits, okay. And finally became familiar enough to take food from my hand. Again, grammar is there, a little bit of grammar is there. I can't leave away grammar because grammar is so important. If you want to be proficient in this language, if you want to be proficient in this language, what is needed is you should be proficient in this language. What is the use of, what is the necessity of studying all these texts? It is to make you proficient in this language, If you want to be proficient, what is to be done? You have to study grammar also, along with the text, along with the grammar is also to be taught. Then only your English become advanced, If you want to have an advanced level of English, you must study all these things, Right? A primary knowledge of English is not sufficient, because in your career you will have a lot of growth, And how can you be proficient? Learn, study English. Whenever you get time, don't leave away English. English is with us. English is for us. So we have to study this language in a very brilliant manner. And if you are empowered with the nonsense of English, if you are empowered with the nonsense of English, if you are empowered with the accuracy of English, you can excel everywhere. Wherever you go, nobody can turn you down, Nobody. This is something very important, You may be good at maths, You may be good at science, but it is not enough. What is to be done? You have to enhance the level of your English to a wonderful level. Then only you can excel in your life. This is what I have to tell you. Right? So, what is the grammar there, Started living. You have noted the word, started. ആരംഭിച്ചു എന്നാണല്ലോ അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് നിങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും ഉപയോഗിക്കേണ്ടത് ഒരു ING ക്രിയ മാത്രമേ ഉപയോഗിക്കാവൂ. സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് സ്റ്റഡിങ്, സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ഗോയിങ്, സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ലിവിങ്, അങ്ങനെ വേണം ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ. അല്ലാതെ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ടു ഇൻഫിനിറ്റ് ഉപയോഗിക്കരുത്. അതായത് സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ടു ലീവ് എന്ന പ്രയോഗം സാധാരണ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ തെറ്റല്ല, പക്ഷേ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഈവൻ ദെൻ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് പ്രിഫേർഡ് വൺ. വാട്ട് യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡു ഈസ് ആഫ്റ്റർ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് യു ഹാവ് ടു യൂസ് ING form of order. And grew bolder. He became bolder and bolder. The animal became bolder and bolder, and finally became familiar enough to take food from my hands. And a little later, he became with the going of days. With the going of days, he became very friendly, and he began to the animal, the squirrel, began to eat from his hands. Began to eat from his hands. Next paragraph. Before long he was delving into my pockets. Before long means suddenly എന്നാണ് അർത്ഥം, വളരെ പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ. He was delving into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him headstrong and foolish for trusting a human.